Hello YouTube, Elite Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 6-player free-for-all on the Moon Rivers map, and I'm in command of the Spqr Romans, as you can see, and the other players are Aegis 2 Spartalium, an extremely good player. He's in command of Greek cities. The Spanish player down here, Fearless Unicorn of Sparta. He's obviously Spain, as you can see. This fella Deer is in command of the Carthaginians. Then there is Daniel over here, who is in command of the Brutii Romans. He was a fairly new player, so he doesn't have a lot of experience. And this guy over here, Hayes, he is a fairly experienced player, and I know him to be fairly good. And he is in command of the Scipii Romans. So my army consists of 1 unit of Praetorian cohort. Gold is my general. I have 3 units of Gold legionary cohort, 1 unit of Gold legionary first cohort, 6 units of Gold tack Roman archers, and 4 units of Gold Praetorian cav, and I had 1 town watch as a peeler shield, which I was going to use in case I had to fight Hayes. I don't usually use Praetorian cohort, but I knew I'd need them up against either Aegis Sparta down here or Hayes. I know both of them to be very good, so I wanted to make sure I had some good units to employ there. I'm just going to pause it while I outline their armies, because I think I'll run out of time. This fellow has, I think it's 5 or 6 units of Door Warriors. I don't think there's many upgrades because they're very expensive. 3 units of skirmishers, some long shield cavalry, and a general's armoured bodyguard. The Carthaginian player has looks to be 6 units of gold sacred band hoplites, and about 4 units of very small upgraded pony infantry, and a lot of slingers and Balearic slingers heavily upgraded, and a couple of Jav cav also heavily upgraded. Daniel's army consists of the pretty much traditional urban build, but that's pretty normal for a new player and acceptable for a new player in my eyes. So he's got about 5 or 6 urban cohorts, got some town watch, some light auxilia, more light auxilia, interesting choice, and Roman general and Roman cav, and some war dogs. So you can tell by that kind of build some of those units there are for a new player. Hayes has gone with your very traditional urban army. He's got looks to be, I think, 6 units of urban cohort, gold, 4 units of Praetorian cav, and actually no, it's only 2 units of Praetorian cav and perhaps some extra urbans, and the rest is Roman archers. So that's his setup, and he's going to make pretty short work of Daniel, mostly due to his experience. So I decided to face Sparta down here. Now his army is hidden in the woods, but it consists of, I think it's 4 units of silver gold Spartan hoplites and 5 units of either gold or silver gold armoured hoplites, and 6 regular archers and 2 Cretan archers. And he plays very intelligently, and he makes it exceptionally challenging for me to use my whole army against him. He plays the Greeks very well, so watch what he does in this battle if you're a Greek fan and want to know how to work them really well, because he does a very good job with them, in my opinion. So I start up on this hill. Now I could hill camp, but I refuse to hill camp. I dislike it with a passion. So I'm going to come down, and in this battle the only thing I've got over him are these cavalry, and I have to use them to very good effect, but he makes it really challenging for me to put them into use in this battle. He's got a lot more infantry than me. I've only got 5 units. He's got about 10 units, and every one of them is better than my infantry. The only infantry unit that I've got that's on par with his armoured hoplites are these Praetorian cohort, but the rest is legionary cohort and a first cohort. And I've gone with my traditional setup. I've put in the Praetorian on the left, and the first cohort on the right, and the units in the middle get a moral boost from either side of the support units on the flanks, which allows them to stay in the fight that little bit extra. It'll make a big difference. So here we're going to get into a duel. I'm not too concerned about his regular archers, but his Cretans are going to be a bit of an issue, considering how good range they possess. And this is where I wanted to use my town watch to screen for some of my infantry. So as you can see, his army's starting to show up more, as you can see there. And I'm just going to sort of wrap around the sides here. I only have 5 infantry units, so he's got a decisive infantry advantage, but I do have these 4 Praetorian cav, and I have to use them to good effect. But he does play in a way that makes it very difficult to employ them with any real success for quite some time, but I do manage to find some ways around it. So he's flaming my legionnaires. I can see what he's thinking, that he wants to try and get my men to rout very quickly, but this is probably not such a good idea. He needs to be targeting my archers, because as you can see, he's lost a lot of archers, whereas I've lost very few. So I'm bringing my cavalry in for 2 purposes. Or 3 purposes actually. I want to reveal some of his infantry, which I just did. I want to mop up some of his archers if I can, and I want to cause some of his other archers to have to run away. So that means he'll have less archer units to fire on mine at one point, and I can take edge and get an advantage in the archer duel. Because once his archer component's down, it'll be much harder for him to win this. So as you can see, I'm having a pretty good effect. His archers are significantly more depleted than mine. I'm withdrawing my cav there. So as you can see, he's got 4 Spartans, and I think it's either 4 or 5 armoured hoplites, and they are silver I think actually. And he's going to end up using one of his men as a peeler screen, which is a good choice because he can risk expending one of them, because again he has a lot more infantry than I do. So as you can see, I've made good short work of his archers, and that's important. And it looks like Hayes has made quick and short work of Daniel, as was to be expected. Daniel was very new, plus Hayes had a stronger army, and he's obviously more experienced, so it's pretty unlikely that Daniel was going to win. But he fought well, and he was a good sport about it, so that's good. So here I rush, but these armoured hoplite are going to screen for his main infantry as a peeler shield. So I turn my peeler off, and initially I thought these were just regular hoplites, so this is why or light militia hoplite type units, so I didn't really notice it. And this is why I'm using my town watch to try and punch through, but obviously that's not going to work because they're actually armoured hoplite. And here I'm going to come in and attempt to hit his archers, and I do. I get these the remainder of these archers here, and I'm coming around with more of my cavalry, and I'm basically just putting my cavalry out the back there to have him kind of get him on edge, try and make him sort of do the whole psychological thing, knowing the fact that they're always there and he has to have a constant eye on them. And it also his units will feel that their flanks are not secure and stuff, so that'll make them fight a little less efficiently. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send my archers in a moment around the sides so that I can shoot the sides of this peeler shield, but I want to keep a certain amount left so I can hit the backs of these Spartans, because like I said, his infantry is a lot tougher than mine, so I have to be very careful here. And here I come in to get some of these Cretians, but he runs them into his Spartans there, and I don't want to hang around because that's not going to go in my favour, so I withdraw. But I'm looking for opportunities. And as you can see, I'm swinging my archers around to the sides now. But I can't waste my peeler. I can't let this armoured hoplite take these peeler, because I really need them for these the main infantry line, particularly the Spartans, because they're just going to be leagues ahead of my infantry in battle. But Roman legionnaires are very disciplined and tough, so even though they won't be able to beat them without the support of my cavalry, they'll hold long enough for me to weaken them. So as you can see, I'm moving my archers to the sides and to the backs, and I'm going to attempt to shoot some more of these peeler shields down so that he won't have his peeler shield, and he won't want to risk sending another peeler shield in because he won't have enough men left to oppose my cavalry. And I could be shooting the backs of these guys here, but I really need to be saving them for the Spartans, because I don't want to not have enough arrows left, and he comes forward here knowing that I'd be unwilling to use my peeler any other way, but fortunately his peeler shield was condensed into tight formation again, so that allows me to enable several peeler volleys into approaching units from various other parts of the field, as you can see. So his Spartans lose anywhere between 5 to 10 casualties on each unit, and that's going to be very important later on. And now I am shooting in the backs of his units, and I'm sending in my cavalry, and I'm going to kill these Cretians over here because they're just going to be a nuisance to my archers. I need them to be shooting the backs of his men, so I'm going to get rid of them with my cavalry. But as you can see, these Spartans and armoured hoplites are certainly winning the infantry battle at the moment. But I am shooting the backs of his men, and hopefully that's thinning the numbers. And here I see an opening to get some into the backs of his Spartans, but he does intercept it to a certain extent. But I'm going to get these whole units right into the backs of these Spartan units. But Spartans are very tough in this regard, so I only have a limited effect there. But it will it has thinned his numbers out and given my men the edge there. Over here I managed to come in as well, and I've done the same on this flank. So he's doing a very good job of protecting his reserve line here with his limited mobility. But it's these archers that are a problem, because I can hit the backs of his men, and he can't really do a lot about it. So here I see an opening right into the backs of these Spartans, and I'm going to take it, and I get a very good heavy charge right in, and I managed to rout this unit here, and these Spartans are extremely depleted or much weakened. He was unable to defend against that. And as you can see, his infantry line is starting to crumble in areas, but you can see that my cavalry have taken significant losses. You can see a lot of dead cavalry. He's made it rather challenging for me to get in. So here I see an opportunity to come in here to finish these Spartans, and I do, but he turns these guys in time to get them, so I don't want to hang around there too long. But it has destroyed a unit of Spartans, and that's fantastic. And he's shielding this area completely so that his Spartans can fight, but his men are probably going to get wrapped and hit by my guys in the back anyway, so this unit's not entirely safe anyway. But over here you can see that this Spartan unit's still alive, and the important thing to note here that he does is he keeps his army tightly compact together. This is an absolute must if you're playing against the Greek city-states, because you've got to keep them together. People often make the mistake of running after cavalry with the reserve line of hoplites, and it's a disaster. And there's the Greek general there, but it's a disaster if you do that. Stay together, and it's much harder to get in. If you can win the cavalry, the missile duel, it'll make it more likely that you'll win. So over here I'm going to pin these armoured hoplites on my first cohort and one of my other legionary cohorts, and I will come in with some of my cavalry and finish it off. I will finish off both sides. This unit will go for here, and this unit will go for there. I do believe that's what I do. Oh no, wait a minute, let's just go for the whole one. So I destroy that unit, and as you can see I'm slinging my archers around again, but they're pretty much out of arrows. As you can see, they get their knives drawn, so they're out. So this was a very sort of simple tactics, but required a lot of timing on my part and on his, and we both did very good in this fight. And I come for a hammer and anvil, and this is going to break the remainder of his infantry. So a very good game to Aegis 2 Sparta Liam. I've seen him play before, and I know he's a very good player, and that's a really good use of Greece. And although he lost, he did extremely well. You can see a lot of dead Praetorian cav. He made it exceptionally difficult for me to get in there. He made all my arrows, me expend all my arrows trying to stop him. So that was good. And he, for the most part, nullified a considerable amount of my peeler with the peeler screen of his. So he did very good. And if you're a person who likes the Greek city-states but you have a bit of trouble using them because of their cavalry challenge, that's a very good use to the Greeks. As I said, important that you keep your men together like he did. He always had those units right there in the back ready to protect his back. Don't run after cavalry. Just stay there and use them to shield the backs of your men. Don't spread your force out. It's the worst thing you can do when you're playing as the Greek city-states rule. or any faction that's just, or any battle you're relying on solely on your phalanxes or hoplites. So it's a win for my men, but it's a pretty heavy price there. I still have quite a few infantry left, but my cavalry's pretty depleted, and my archers are of no value anymore because they've got no arrows left. So so very good battle to him. Now over here, these guys have come down to fight against the Carthaginian, and the Carthaginian player, Dare, he is extremely annoying in this fight because he doesn't do anything. He just camps on the river here like this, and it is so annoying because this is a scored resolution game. And he's doing this camping thing, and this is why I made this game scored resolution, or I make most if not all my free-for-all scored resolution, because if people do this, people who camp on hills or camp over bridges like this, if it's on LMS, they will win, and they clearly don't deserve to win because they've used no skills and no tactics, but they've still got their victory. But on scored, if they do this, they don't get points, and therefore they don't win. And that's why I do it like this, to stop people like this who don't deserve victory from getting victory. So, but he's going to sit here the whole game, and I keep trying to tell him that he has to get points and all this, and he just said, oh, it'll work out and all this sort of stuff. And so people seem to think if they camp that they'll win, and it's just people don't like campers, and I don't suggest you do it unless you're ridiculously outnumbered or outclassed. Then it might be okay because it would be a bit more fair then. But as you can see, the Spanish player tried to breach through this, and clearly he failed, very big time too. And Hayes, recognising that the Spanish player is of little value now as an ally, he comes in and he will make short work of these four warriors who were caught in loose formation, and that's never good. So at this point I'm making a deal with Hayes, asking him whether he wants to make an alliance, see if we can both work together to breach this Carthaginian player, because although Hayes has got most of his forces, breaching this Carthaginian player will take more than what he's got. So he agrees to it, and I asked for him to go to this side because, as you see, most of the Sacred Band are planted over here, and he's got a lot of still very full urban cohort units that are gold, while I have sort of half legionary cohorts and stuff, units which are less suited to Sacred Band. There would be no match for Sacred Band, particularly on a bridge, whereas urban cohort would be. So he's going to take this side, and I'll take this side that's got the Puini, because I'm confident my men could beat Puini infantry. So in a minute he will move over, and as you can see I'm still quite some ways away, and I'm walking over here, so that's good. And I'm just going to triple speed it along here, guys. And this sort of just goes on for a while, a lot of just sitting still, and this is what I mean. It's just frustrating when people do this. I wish people wouldn't do this. Like, it makes games boring. I really don't get why people camp anyway. Like, I suppose if you want to be sure you can win, sure. If you're in a bad situation, okay. But in games like this, where you need to get points, what's the point in camping? It's just stupid. You're not going to win if you do it. Plus, it's just boring. You're doing nothing the whole game. You're just sitting on a bridge. Boring. I don't understand it. And as you can see, there's some Greek units over here. There's archers and one of these regrouped hoplite units. I let A just keep them because I knew his archers would be handy, and we need every infantry unit we had to take down Dare, the Carthaginian player. So all of us agree not to attack each other until we've destroyed the Carthaginian, then me and Hayes will duke it out and see who comes out on top. So that's that. And I'm just going to triple speed again, guys, because this just goes on for a while, and they'll just be skirmishing with one another. These arrows will coming in and fire arrows here to try and weaken the morale of them a bit, but it's going to be pretty limited in effect. And here Hayes makes a bit of a blunder. He sends his cavalry over here to chase these Jav Cav, but to get behind his these Puini, and he's going to go straight into these Puini infantry, and that's just going to be death to his Praetorian cavalry, which is unfortunate for him. And there's his general. So I don't think he realised his men had got that far though. So that's going to cost him his cavalry. As you can see, haze is forming up here, and that's basically how it's going. And they're just skirmishing with their slingers and arrows, but I don't know how the heck we're going to dislodge this huge sacred band set up. And to be honest though, this is, this should be really frustrating on LMS, because what would happen is he'd almost certainly win, and he doesn't deserve it because he hasn't done anything worthwhile to deserve a victory. The rest of us, Hayes, myself, the Spanish player, Daniel, Aegis, we all fought and we all used our minds to try and outthink the others and what skills we had. And this guy, all he's done is got his men, sat them on the bridge and done nothing the whole game. And that's just, to me, that's not fair. Okay, there's that saying, all's fair in war and all that, but I mean, play a fair, decent game. I'm not fussed on bridge battles because there's always this sort of thing goes on where someone just camps on one side and the defenders usually win because of it, and it's kind of annoying. But it doesn't really work into the strengths of my style of playing, which is like offensive, and that makes it a lot harder. So here's some flaming arrows coming in to just do whatever they can, but they're having no real effect on his forces. And I'm just approaching now, and my original plan here was, I see there's got a lot of slingers and that sort of thing, and I have no arrows to combat them, but my plan is to use my Roman archers to soak up sling damage, so that my sling, rocks and stuff, because they've got no arrows left, but they're still useful, and that they could be like a meat shield type situation. And I was going to use them to soak up stones so that my infantry don't get hit. I go to do that, and I do it with one of my units, but Hayes points out to me that it'll give him points. So eventually what I'll do is I withdraw them, because it'll stop him getting points, and if he does get enough points he might actually win. So and we really don't want that, because like I said, he's done nothing that warrants the deserving of a victory. So as you can see, it's pretty much just going to go on like this for a while we they'll skirmish and I just wait it out. We're waiting to time our attack. If you want to skip ahead, guys, go ahead, because it is quite a long video, as you can see by the things up there. And if you want to skip ahead to towards the end, then go for it. I understand. But this just goes on for a while, and it's rather boring. And I actually decide I want to put my men into column formation. But initially I do anyway, but I later changed my mind, because I don't really want to have one unit attacking at a time, because I want to try and get the units to sort of mass there and then do their whole Roman thing where they sort of just swing around the flanks steadily. And here's some glitched Roman archers trying to run, Forrest, run. I love that movie. Anyway, this still goes on for quite a while, and I'm just going to triple speed again, guys. It's really annoying. And as you can see, I changed my mind against the whole column formation thing for the same reasons I just explained before. And a couple of my units have still got peeler, so I want to be sure I fire them. And as you can see, I'm bringing my archers over now, and initially I was going to use them as a peeler shield, like I said, but it kind of, because it's going to give them extra points, we decide against doing it, and I later retreat my archers so that no one gets them. That's like a viable tactic. If you know your men are going to be easy pickings for another person, but you want to deprive that person of the potential victory. Like if you've already, say, beaten an opponent and and you've got you've killed a whole army, you've probably got a decent amount of kills, and you've still got a few men left, but not enough to save your men. It's not enough to protect them from being destroyed. You can actually just retreat them from the battlefield, and that way no one will get them, and that might just deprive them of those necessary kills that they need to get past your score. So it is a viable tactic, and sometimes you can do that. Depends on how close, of course, you are to the line and stuff. And sometimes, I've seen, when I've retreated units, they don't even, they'll be right next to the line, they'll run right away from the line and go to the other side of the map, the other line. It's really stupid, but annoying. So as you can see, here's the slings coming in to bust up my Roman archers, and this would be a good tactic on LMS, but it isn't for score for the reasons I explained already. It'll give him extra kills, and it's actually really quite cool. You can see all the stones hitting the water, and I think that's quite cool. So over here, I believe Hayes was trying to use these urban cohort as a damage sponge for these slingers, and the rest of his men are also on test 2 though. So as you can see, my men rout here, but Hayes, I was about to see another one, then of course Hayes informs me of that. So in a moment I will withdraw my archers, and as you can see I start to withdraw them now. And fortunately there was no other, if he had some cavalry, he might have been tempted to go after them, but like I said, I'm going to withdraw them because I don't want the Carthaginian getting those extra kills that might actually give him enough kills to win. Because if he manages to beat me and Hayes and the Spanish player all by camping, which is possible because he's got such a full army, and we're depleted and tired, that might just give him that unfair edge. So here I'm going to cross, as you can see my infantry appearing to cross. But it's, as you can see, unlikely that we'll win, but this is a scored resolution, so it's the points that matter. So even if we don't win, if we kill enough of his men, we'll probably do alright. And these urbans arrive to take on the Sacred Band, but the problem here is the urbans can't employ their regular or any Roman infantry, won't be able to employ their strategy, which is to have the few frontline infantry just stay out of spear range like they're doing here, and the sides wrap around like they do, the back units wrap around them, but they can't do it on this bridge, so therefore these urbans are not going to be able to get through at all. I have the potential to do that because my men can still at least wrap around the sides, and you'll see them start to try it. If you've noticed, that's what Romans do against phalanxes. Most infantry do it against phalanxes, but the Romans are particularly good at it. As you can see, they're just out of spear range. But normally these these back units here would start going around the sides in the open battle, but like I said, they simply can't because there's no room for them to do it. And the Carthaginian knows that this is the case, obviously, and he's sending some Sacred Band to my side of the battlefield because my side's much easier because it's only Poeni infantry. And I rather like Poeni infantry. I think they're also one of those grossly underpowered units in the game because historically the Poeni, or the Libyan spearmen as they would have been known, were very good infantry units, and they would have been very skilled and made up a very the elite part of Hannibal's infantry. And these are my Roman general right there in the front, organising the men. And I'm ready to throw some Pila, but it has almost no effect whatsoever, and that's rather annoying. And as you can see, the plan was initially to try and break in to them and then put the cavalry and smash straight through, but it's pretty unlikely it'll succeed, but that's all we can do. And I forgot to do this in the battle, but it can work. You can get the urbans and you click a unit and you just drag it along there like you normally would when you're going to form up, and they'll walk into the formation. They'll take a few casualties at first, but once they get in, it'll break the phalanx up and the enemy phalanx will draw swords, and in a sword fight, nothing in this game can beat an urban cohort unit at a sword fight. Spartans and these sacred bands and stuff, they can fight them only because of their phalanx and their spears. But if you get inside the formation and get swords out, it's going to be Urbans taking the day. And that's how they do it. And you'll see it start to happen a bit here. And this, as you can see, some of my men get inside the this formation, and it starts to destroy these greenies much easier than if I was just sitting in the front. And here they reform a bit, so that's not a factor, and when they do that, they do better. But if you get inside the formation, it'll disrupt the phalanx, and they'll get the swords out, and that's where Roman infantry excel at sword fighting. But like I showed you before, Romans will do is they'll pin from the front and the back, units in the back of the formation will slide around the sides, and as you can see, my men are attempting to do that now. And this is how they usually beat phalanxes. They get like enough men on the side, they can hit and hack away at the side, and does enough damage, and the middle can just break through. It's much harder to do this though. It takes much more effort to do this if the formation's much deeper. So these Poeni are not going to be able to beat my Roman infantry, but these Sacred Band are definitely going to be able to beat my infantry. So over here, these Urbans are trying but failing to get in there, and I really should have thought to do that whole walk-in thing and then just break them up and then send my cavalry in and destroy them, but it didn't occur to me at the time when I was playing, and that's going to be costly. So that's how this is going to work out. But look at those awesome Lorica Segmentum armour that the Romans have there. This is why I like using a legionary cohort, because it's so much more realistic to true Roman style. Urban cohort look awesome and everything, besides from the fact that they're horribly, horribly misrepresented in terms of historical accuracy. They do look very cool, but they're just, they're just so inaccurate and overpowered. And Hayes tried to do what I was just telling you there before, but for some reason he couldn't do it. So he's not going to be able to do anything about this. So that's really unfortunate for him. But as you can see, my men are wrapping completely around the sides of these formations here. And it's given me some fairly good results at first. It's still very costly though, and when the Sacred Band get into the battle, it'll be much harder. But Hayes is just having no success getting in here. The Urbans ain't dying because they're staying out of range, but they can't do what my men are doing, so it's not really anything happening there. So this is how Romans do it, they just wrap around the sides. But it's a very successful and workable strategy. But with the Roman armies and stuff in this game, I wish people would use more like setups similar to the one I have now, because it's just more historically accurate. It's just cooler, in my opinion. But everyone just uses Urbans and Praetorians. They're obviously very good units, extremely powerful, but overpowered even. But I just wish people would, just do something different. I like using those different kind of units and armies. Like with Carthage armies, I like sometimes bring Poeni infantry and Libyan spearmen, and even Iberian infantry and stuff. But it's rather hard to win with armies like that, because everyone always has the elite units. And you kind of have to bring elite units, your own elite units, because it's the only armies units that can keep pace unless you're a very good player. And I'm not an extremely good player. I'm okay, but if I were better, I'd do it. And as you can see, what happens, they get around the side here, and it forces these phalanxes to use their swords, and this is where they're not nearly as good as the Romans. So this is how you want to try and do it. But in a situation like this, a bridging sort of gapping situation, it's really hard to do it. So getting in is not going to be easy at all. It's just tough, but it's just the way it goes. But kind of frustrating that this guy did what he did here. And me and Hayes know at this point that we're not going to get in. I'm pretty sure he'd be certain he's not going to get in, because he just can't break through. And so this is probably a viable way to stop urban cohort. But no one wants to do like bridge battles over and over again, and no one wants to face like a camper over and over again. So here I bring in some of my Praetorian cav to come in with a charge, It doesn't really work that well, and I think it just serves to push my men into his phalanxes harder, and it doesn't really work. So my general dies, and my army is starting to chain rout any minute now. So unfortunately that's just the way it goes. But I was a little worried that if he got enough kills, the Carthaginian might win, and so many other, all us other players actually performed better than him, because we actually tried to win open battles and stuff, whereas he didn't. So I really didn't want him to win this. It'd be really annoying if he won. But as you can see, my army's gone basically. I'm near about to rout in a moment. I'm bringing in the rest of my cav just for the heck of it, but I probably should have withdrawn them. But here Hayes tries an all-out assault to break through with his urban cohort, but there's just really nothing we can do. We just can't breach this impossible defence. This is like Thermopylae bridge style, I suppose, bridge and river style. It's just unbreakable. There's no way to wrap him up or anything like that. So I'm destroyed, and Hayes decides to withdraw his archers so that no one will get them. And in a moment I will tell Hayes to withdraw his urban cohort so that no one gets them either, because that would just be annoying. Because if these urbans get destroyed, then they can be pretty certain that the Carthaginian player will win, and don't want them to do that. So I'm completely destroyed, obviously, but I did manage to withdraw my archers way at the back out here, which saved them from getting caught. And here the urbans withdraw from this battle because it's just not working. And you see a lot of dead urbans there, very little he can really do about that. And in a moment Hayes will withdraw his so I'm on triple speed here, guys. There's not a lot happening, and I send a message telling him to withdraw, and he's going to do it. So the Carthage player still doesn't even attempt to come across. At this point, if he came across, he'd be certain that he'd be able to win, but he still doesn't attempt it. So this is like the ultimate camper, and he's obviously a fairly boring kind of player. If he does this all the time, I wouldn't want to play him if he does it all the time, because it's just boring and annoying. So the battle's just about to come to an end, so we'll soon see the end results. And here's some Numidian mercenaries over here, Javcav, and I don't think Hayes might have noticed it and he would try to go after them, but he just carries on withdrawing. No point in wasting time doing that. And Hayes is almost to the line. He obviously beat Daniel. I beat Aegis, Sparta over here, and he also mopped up quite a lot of Spain. So I suspect he'll, by this point, that I was actually hoping he'd win, because at least he deserves it. He fought well. So his men are withdrawn, and that is the relative end of the battle for the lands of Moon River. And as you can see, it's a defeat, but a very close defeat, because I get second and I'm only a couple of hundred, just short of a couple of hundred hills behind Hayes, who gets first, and the Carthaginian did get third. So really good thing we withdrew when we did, because he could have easily gotten in front of us then if you'd beaten back Hayes' armies. Great game here to Aegis 2 Sparta. Liam, he did some brilliant strategy there with the Greeks. Poor Spanish fella, he didn't really have much of a show, but brave of him to use Spain, a tough faction to use in any battle. But well done to Hayes on his victory, and don't camp in future if you can help it. So anyways, his stats, you can see my infantry did very good. My Roman archers also did very good, and my Praetorian cav, they did pretty good, except for this unit here that got routed. Didn't do too bad, didn't do a very good effort of getting in, but all the rest of them did good. My town watch got pretty owned, but that doesn't matter. They did what they needed to do. So I'm really pleased with the results for my army. This is the risk you take with scored resolution. Sometimes you don't get enough points, and even if you get more kills, it's the quality of kills that counts. So never mind. It was a good game though to all players there, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.